Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's not a response, it's a Rob-sponse. Back at you. I'm looking to drop some videos more consistently. I sound like a broken record. But definitely that's the plan, is to drop a video almost every day for like the next 4 or 5 days. I gotta get used to posting every day. I want to start showing you all like how I book my trips, or like what I look for, or like how I solve situations. So those are some videos that are coming. But I want to jump straight to this one. Pretty much just want to give my thoughts on Italy, in specific Rome, Italy. I was in Rome for about 3 days last week, and just some things I noticed about Rome. First of all, it is very historic. Everywhere you turn, there are statues and architecture and buildings. And we all want to have those Instagram and TikTok moments where you have your phone and you want to capture it and share it. But at a certain point, you realize there are the name attractions like the Vatican City or the Trevi Fountain or the Pantheon or the Spanish Steps. But along the way, there are 40 or 50 random statues that aren't highly publicized, that you see and you're like, oh, this is an amazing lion. Oh, this is an amazing historical figure. Oh, this is amazing, god or emperor or some type of important figure from the Roman Italian past. And I need to get a picture of that too. So at a certain point, I couldn't even take pictures anymore because I am someone who will drop something quick on TikTok, drop something quick for YouTube, as you guys know in my shorts. But at a certain point, I was just overwhelmed, didn't have any more energy to drop anything else. Second, Italy has the highest military presence that I've seen. Like a lot of cities, you'll see the police. Like when I was in Berlin, I saw the police. When I was in London, I saw the police. Didn't really see the police that much in Brussels. I saw a little police presence in Warsaw. Not really in Vilnius, Lithuania. But Rome, Italy has a huge military presence. You see dudes with the AR-15s sitting out at different checkpoints. So they are not playing. Rome is serious. F around and find out if you want to. Fuck around and find out. But yeah, so I noticed that for sure. I was like, yeah, let me make sure I walk right and act right. Because again, on top of that, I'm also a foreign traveler, an American traveler, and a black male American traveler. So I had to set my P's and Q's. But yeah, there's a heavy, heavy military presence there and a police presence. So I guess that means you don't see much terrorism. Because again, all of Europe is going through diversification. No matter where in Europe you are, you're going to see Indian people, you're going to see Asian people, probably particularly Chinese. The Chinese are everywhere. They have a diaspora everywhere, just like Indian people have a diaspora everywhere. And when I say Indian, I mean South Asian Indian, not Southeast Asian. I mean Asian in terms of like India, like Punjabi, like people leaving Delhi or Mumbai. And of course, no matter where you go, you're going to find some African immigrants. So if you go around, you see darker skinned dudes who dress a little different, like their style is definitely not American. You can tell like an American dark skinned black person from like an African dark skinned black person. Usually. There's some exceptions, but usually you can tell the difference. It's just a different aura or feel. So they find they were everywhere. Like I said, so Rome had those as well, So what else about Rome? Everywhere you go, people like to sit outside. And I was there for late May. So the temperatures were pretty much in the 70s, high 60s. So good for walking around, but not so hot that you don't want to be outside. But everywhere you go, every other block, there's a tent, a canopy covering people when they're eating. So, and then these people are all serving, their various forms of Italian food. So you've got their different pastas, their different noodles, their different sandwiches. I sat down in a couple of those places, so they were good. But yeah, they have a little canopy, tented places everywhere. What else? The people are hit or miss, but I guess it's like everywhere else. Some people were really friendly, some people weren't. So can't really say they stuck out anymore. Because as far as Europe, probably the rudest people to me were probably still the French. Maybe Italy was second. in terms of rude or not as nice people. Although I kind of ran into some Polish people who were like interested in me and then who weren't interested in me as far as like just talking and holding platonic conversation. So it'll be Poland, Italy, and France were probably the most difficult three. London was pretty chill, was pretty good overall. Amsterdam and Brussels were pretty good. And then, like I said, Vilnius was pretty good. So, but yeah, just some thoughts on Italy. I definitely recommend visiting because I said all the history, all the architecture. You know, Rome was a great empire. So it makes me kind of curious to wonder what would Greece be like. I heard Athens is kind of a dump, not the greatest place, despite having the Olympics go there. You know, usually when the Olympics come to your city, it brings a lot of investment. But supposedly, having Athens 2004 didn't really do a lot for the city, and the legacy hasn't been great 20 years later. But I gotta imagine all the Greek, buildings and whatnot. But anyway, Rome has a ton of history. Like I said again, the food was good. I had the pasta; it was good. It was authentic, so that was good. And again, everything outside of America is so much healthier and better prepared and better for you, even if the food category isn't great. Because pasta and noodles and stuff like that isn't always the best for you. Although I tried to keep it to like fish and shrimp for the most part. Maybe some chicken here and there. I really didn't have any beef. But yeah, just some thoughts on like Rome. Like I said again, I was there probably about a week ago at this point. I left Rome. Well, no, I was there until Thursday. See, I was there from last Monday to Thursday, so I spent like 3 days there. So those are my thoughts on Rome. Again, great. I'm glad I went. I said it was great. The airport was nice. So again, big airport. They had a good little sit down, a couple restaurants there. And again, the cool thing about Europe, the only exception being Germany, Frankfurt, is that they have you hop into a bus and they ride you around outside and you go up some stairs to get into the plane. But you're outside on the tarmac with planes and everything going by. In America, that's unheard of. Like I said, everywhere I've flown, outside of Germany, they use the little jetway that pulls in Germany, but everywhere else hasn't had that. So like I said, I'm in Africa, so I want to see how Africa does it. So I'll report back after I do Cape Town and Johannesburg and Namibia and Kenya, hopefully, and we'll go from there. So we get a response is a Rob-sponse. Just some thoughts on Rome, Italy. Overall, it was great. Glad I went. A lot of culture. Recommend going. If you have any thoughts or you want to share experiences that you had in Rome, feel free. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching this far.